All right, hi, happy new year, everyone, and welcome back to the RFOX AMA. I'm here with Benny Fairbank, the CEO and co-founder of RFOX. Hope everyone is doing great, and welcome to new community members. Benny, how are you going?
Very well, thank you. And yourself? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I'm doing awesome, thank you. And yeah, very excited. It's going to be a huge one for our Fox this year. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's have a chat about what the plans are for this year, what the focus is, the goals, and what the opportunities are for our Fox. What can you share with us to get started?
Yeah, so lots of stuff that we're about to unveil, but obviously the first quarter is going to be crucial for us because we've got a couple of key things coming up. We've got the second round of citizens and apartments. We've also got we're going to get out of beta for the MVP. So move away from MVP completely for the vault. So that's a really good strategy for us to have that exit plan. And for us to do that, we have to finish the creator tools. And they're the last few little pieces of the ecosystem that we really needed to get to that MVP or beyond stage. So once we've got those creator tools, once we've got that plan to exit the MVP for the vault, we're in a really good situation, and we can start developing and getting creators in to customize and to build things. So this year is all going to be about growth, onboarding experiences, creators and developers, which will in turn bring in the end users. Recently, we've just attended the CES conference, the Consumer Electronics Show, which is the biggest of its type in Vegas. There was 3,000 plus exhibitors and 100,000 attendees, but the main overriding theme was metaverse. So a lot of people who think metaverse as a theme is kind of stagnant or dead. This monopolized the whole conference. So talked about the fact that there's obviously some debate on what a metaverse is, but we just got ticks in so many boxes building VR first. And what we're doing is it fueled us. It's made us much more excited about the fact that we're on the right track. And this year is going to be huge because we get everything out, all these years of building, and to have the validation that you're on the right track at the biggest electronics show in the world is obviously massive for us. So really looking forward to that. And then a few little things that we haven't announced yet that are going to be massive for us.
Okay, sure. It looked like there was a bit of a smile there. It looked like you wanted you wanted to say something, but
We will
we'll wait.
very shortly.
Of course. All right. And so, what are you most excited about this year, then, Benny?
I think, we've been talking for a long time, right? And I think a lot of people would acknowledge that most projects talked for a long time and a lot of projects didn't actually deliver anything. We've started to deliver stuff, but I think that more importantly for all the people that have been with us for a long period of time, they're now going to start to see the fruition and the results of that labour. We've already started to show some amazing quality. You look at the apartments in the background and some people have already had a chance to walk through and see those, and you're seeing the quality of the products and the production value that we're bringing to the market now. But that all gets to tie in, and you get to see how all of these random pieces across the ecosystem finally come together. So for me, it's a matter of the culmination of that. And I'm fully prepared for people to come along and say, we can do better, and us to be able to say, well, now you've got SDKs, APIs and tools, and you can come along and do better if you think you can. And we would encourage that and we'll support you. It's not a matter of us trying to provide the absolute final best and completed piece. It's a matter of saying we've got the ball rolling and now it's up to you guys who are way smarter than us to develop better and in the direction that you think you'll be best served.
Okay. And Benny, in the wider crypto space, what do you think we could expect to see after the back of that horror year last year? And what are some of the new narratives which RFOX could run with?
Yeah, I think that we're not even getting mentioned in a lot of the conversations that we should be. I think that validation that we're on the right track, but ultimately that we're taking steps and moving towards being more responsible from a community and user perspective making sure that we're taking every necessary precaution to do that. I think the narratives that will come out for the wider crypto audience is we've got two options, right? You either move more heavily towards decentralization, which is a big question marks for a lot of the regulators, or we move into a much more regulated environment for those who are already too far in and can't turn back. So it's going to be interesting. I think that they'll get their claws into make a few examples of people, and then they'll also show that they've tried to get a grip on things. But this space is too new and too fast moving, and technology always outstrips legislation. So legislators are always trying to catch up. I think the most important thing is that we need to offer people the ability to assess the risk that they're getting involved in, and give them the opportunity to make an informed decision. And that's probably the narrative that needs to come out, is you need to understand that whatever you're investing is in new technology is high risk, but you need to be able to manage and have an understanding of that risk.
Okay. And moving along then, last year, RFOX did finish it off with a bang. RFOX NFTs platform MVP was released. That was fantastic to see. There was a real great buzz within the company. And what results and what users have started using the platform? What collections are being created now? Can you talk about what you're seeing?
Yeah, so I guess it's been a long time in the making. I think it's been like 18 months or nearly 2 years since we first talked about it. I think the thing is that the space moved very quickly, and we wanted to make sure that we were going to build something that was there for the longer term. So there'll be lots of different NFT projects that come out. I think that the people that are looking at building are looking at in a different light now. So back in the day, if we had brought out the NFT platform, they would have just been bringing out PFP collections, right? Now they're really pulling on us to say, how long before we can actually turn what we're producing into something that is viewable and interactive in your vault situation. So if someone wants to build buildings, for example, they want to know, can they be implemented into the vault, and in what capacity? Is it in their shop, or is it in the wider space? So I think people are looking for that sort of more end-to-end journey, and that they understand the importance of not just producing something and then sort of disappearing or cashing out and running away. It's a matter of building something more long-lasting. So what you're going to see is some projects that will build things that are relating to what they're looking at implementing into the vault. It's very rare that we're getting people come to us that say, we just want to bring out an NFT collection, because technically speaking, they could go to another platform, put it on a marketplace and just say, bang, it's done. So the good thing about it is that we'd probably attract less people, but we're going to attract people that are actually trying to genuinely build something of standing value and thinking about the long term. So I think you'll see a lot more utility-based NFTs that have a very quick time between releasing of the NFT and practical use case in the vault. So we'd be the hindrance at the moment for that. That's why we have to move quickly to get out of MVP by the end of first quarter.
Okay. And also, just before Christmas, there was the release of the 3D avatars, or actually that we saw them being tested inside the RFOX vault, which was very exciting. And there are a lot of avatars with different traits to integrate. When would we expect to see those usable for the avatar owners?
Yeah, so we're working on that now. We've shown that it's already doable, but what we don't want to do is what a lot of people have decided. It's easy just to give everyone like one type of bot that looks a certain way, or one type of ape that looks a certain way. We've tried to make sure that every single individual NFT is rendered and looks the exact way that it does in your NFT. So there's one more stage before that happens, and that is the reveal of what your bottom half looks like. So you need your head to toe. So it's kind of like two reveals. You've got your bust and your upper half with those types of traits that you were talking about, and we'll explain how they fit into the law as well. But also you'll get almost like a second reveal where you'll get a full file, full body picture of what it looks like head to toe. So we're working as fast as we can to bring that out. We'll keep you updated, but we've already shown that it's doable, and we've already got one in the vault, and now we're just going through the rendering process and working out how to implement and bring those into play. So still a little time away, but in that time we've got a lot of we've got the reveals, we've got the apartments, and we've got the next rung of CitiXens as well. So for those people that have bought an OG, as they know, they're getting 2 apartments and another standard CitiXen as well. So lots of drops and little things to keep you amused until they're ready.
Sure, yeah. And so when the initial OG sale happened, they were just in pods, and now that those avatars have hatched and we've seen the reveals, they're very impressive and great quality. It was just awesome to see just before Christmas, and congrats to the team on that. And now that everyone can see the quality and the utility, that's just around the corner. People are switching back on after the holidays, and they're now starting to see these NFTs for what they are. How do you think the floor will move?
Oh, you never know, do you? With the space and the markets and all the rest of it. But all I can say is that we've launched in a bear market. There's still obviously a lot of locked value in each of those NFTs with the apartments and the standard CitiXens, but I think they're hovering around the 0.6 of an ETH mark at this particular point in time. And the people know what value is coming. So I think going through the apartment side of things and seeing having pods for apartments and having those hatch into the different apartment types as well. And I mean, it's also a personal preference. Some people have actually got relatively common OG avatars as far as rarity is concerned, and they love them. And they're the ones that have done well on the secondary market. But if you look at the apartment you've got in your background and the apartment I've got in my background, it's personal preference, right? I'll just show people a little bit more about it. But the thing is that we've also spoiled the studio, and people have said, wow, that's so futuristic and it's very compact and it's nice. Everyone's going to have a different preference. So I have no understanding of how the market will react to the prices of apartments and all the rest of it. We just want to make sure that we've got really high quality stuff that people value and that it's got a strong utility case.
Yeah, sure. There is a great range of avatars out there, and there's even some wearing masks. They are not my favorite. Do you have a favorite avatar, Benny?
Well, I have a favorite quarter, and my favorite quarter is Calaxy because I love that whole 1930s World's Fair type of theme, and then the darkness and the lighting and all the rest of it, and the mechanical parts. When I first saw the reveals, when we were first looking at them internally for the Calaxy avatars, I was kind of like, the avatars themselves are not quite as strong as some of the other avatars. And then as we've got deeper into the collection, they've really started to grow on me, and they've surprised me, because once you've taken the helmets off, as you say, or the masks, and you've revealed what's underneath, there's some really stunning artwork there. So I think still Calaxy's got the soft spot from the quarter perspective, but I think some of those, some of the Arcimoto ones are just like mind-blowing. And the Calanova ones have been surprising as well, because I thought that being first and being closer to an Earth type of landscape with the fauna, the flora, I thought this would be very, might be a little plain, and they are anything but. They just look fantastic. I think they're I think the art team's done an amazing job, and they've even kept us. It's a bit Blair Witch Project, we'd sort of get the next little piece come through and sort of go, wow. So once we actually got the final collection, it was just mind-blowing. We've already seen what the standards look like, and I would dare say that some people are going to prefer some of the styles of the standards as well, but there's obviously some perks to having the OGs, of course.
For sure. All right, and now the Vault floating apartment reveal that's officially happening this week, and behind you, what can you talk about with your screen background?
Nothing really. I'll just say, look, let's just you wait and see a couple of days, and you've got a good view. But look, they've sort of they started off with an expectation. They started off with what you've got in your background there. And I think that each one of them, it's kind of mind-blowing, because you can go in and you can inspect each of the apartments, you can inspect the avatars, you can inspect the spaces for each of the quarters, and now you've got the depth of going into the shops and having a look at what people's imaginations can produce as far as worlds are concerned. And we've got another surprise coming very shortly in relation to that, to show you what's potentially possible with the creator tools. And I think that this is just going to get very overwhelming very quickly. And we did cop a little bit of criticism in the beginning saying, why have you only got 4 quarters and why are they small compared to what some of the other metaverses are doing? I think when you have a look at the layers, the context, and you can have a whole game and world like Fear inside of a shop, it will technically take you days to explore all of the quarters and all of the different shop spaces once it's actually rolled out. So I think, if anything, it's huge in exploration space. I think it's going to be massive.
Definitely. With the land sales coming up, we have the unreleased quarters of the Vault, Terravolti, and Galaxy. Are those MVP sales? Sorry, are the MVPs going to be released before the land sales happen?
That's the plan. The plan is to polish, because as you've seen with Arcimoto and stuff, if you go into Arcimoto now, the reflective floor surfaces and stuff are amazing. And if you go back and have a look at what they look like in the beginning versus now, and I know that that's the peril of putting out something very early when you're in very, very early MVP, to show people proof of life and existence. People said, they're asking exchanges, I want to see a proof of funds. They're asking projects, let's see proof of life and that you're developing. So then you put something out very early and people go weak. It should be better than that if it's going to market, but it's not. So we've actually polished and we'll continue to keep polishing those and fill those and give those a real feel and look before we go out and do the next 2 sales. And we would love to have at least a very basic MVP that you can walk around and have a look at where you're going to be purchasing. And the reason we decided to do that was because this is not about sort of bringing in tons of money and then saying, oh, we'll build something later. What we've tried to do is say, let's show people what type of quality it is you're going to get to and give people that expectation. And what that should do is increase the value of the 3rd and 4th quarters as far as people's perceptions are concerned for what can be done and what you can do in there. So that's great for the 1st and 2nd quarter people that have got in early and bought. So our job and our obligation is to provide as much value and as much utility as we can for our end users and creators. So that's the reason we've gone that path of halting for now and making sure that we build something of value before we roll the 3rd and 4th quarters out.
Sure. I think even with the MVPs not being released, if that does happen, very different circumstances to the first 2 sales. At the point of these sales, I think the first few customers will even be on board. So, the potential buyers will really be able to see what the potential is there for their purchases.
Yeah, and we're getting more sort of outside parties ask us when we're releasing the 3rd and 4th quarters. So that would also indicate that what they're seeing they like. I think that once people can get in and stamp their own little bit of look and feel and they can create their own spaces, that's when it's really going to sort of have people knocking on the door saying, please hurry up and release the 3rd and 4th quarters.
Yeah, sure will. There is a ton happening at RFOX, and we've gone way over time this time, but there was so much to talk about, and a lot of growth to be excited about this year. The team's pumped. We're all pumped to be working on this, Benny. So final words over to you for the week.
I think this is the year that we finally get recognised for what we've actually built, not what potential we have and not what we could do, but by actually stacking ourselves up side by side. And it's encouraging that there's a few projects that are just starting out on their journey in this space that are getting talked about as potentially being quite big. And I think that they're going to have years of development ahead of them to sort of get to this stage. So I'm really, really proud of what we've achieved, but now it's a matter of opening up the floodgates, getting the message and the word out there to let people know what it is we've got and what we do and who we are. So really looking forward to that. And thank you very much for everybody's patience. Again, I hope everyone had an awesome Christmas and New Year, and really looking forward to smashing this out of the park in 2023.
All right. Thanks, Benny. Great to see you again.
Mate. You too, mate.
Have
a good one.
Bye.